You're watching Act TV. Okay, in our action rundown, the event Fight for Our Future Rally for Climate Care and Jobs and Justice is happening this Saturday. It's a big tent of climate, labor, and racial and economic justice activists who are doing the only thing that ever really works to push change, taking to the streets. It's on Saturday. There are events in Washington, D.C., right in front of the White House, Atlanta, Pittsburgh, Phoenix. Those are the flagship events. And then there are distributed actions in 30 plus states calling for historic federal action and urgent action on the part of state legislatures. You want to go to Giancarlo, put up the little lower third that has it says Fight for Our Futures.com. Fightforourfutures.com is where you want to go in order to find out more about this action and sign up if you're into it. For folks who care, we'll be demanding that President Biden and Congress take some decent climate action on the scale that the crisis demands. The Fight for Our Future Rally for Climate Care, Jobs, and Justice. You will see that I have this lovely thing right here to tell you about it. Why are they doing it today? Saturday? Well, Earth Day, of course. And before the midterms, Congress could actually pass the reconciliation bill, which would create millions of union clean energy jobs and also home care jobs for the care economy. And it could finally tackle that climate crisis at something approaching the scale required. The approximately $550 billion in climate action, although not exactly enough, would be the largest investment our country has ever made by an order of magnitude. It is just a start, but it's the difference between the U.S. hitting its Paris climate goals and blowing right past them. And, the only way to get this to happen is going out in the street. So I encourage everybody to go to fightforourfutures.com and see if there's an action near you or some other way you can help. Again, this is happening on Saturday, and everybody knows that climate rallies are the best ones. They're super fun. The signage is always good. Anyway, in other news, a rally happened in New York City on Monday, which was tax day. I'm still recovering. Not from the rally, but from the taxes. Anyway, it happened in Zuccotti Park, the site of Occupy Wall Street's protests, the ones that woke up the world to the nature of capitalism and income inequality. Anyway, check out this short video of Jumaane Williams, former occupier and current public advocate for New York City and potentially future governor of the state of New York. Wouldn't that be awesome? As he announces that he is in fact running right here in this very video, where he is making the point about how people should all be paying their taxes, including New York's billionaires. Take a look.
All day, all week, Occupy Wall Street. All day, all week, Occupy Wall Street. All right. As was mentioned, my name is Jumaane Williams, public advocate for the city of New York. I'm also running for governor of the state of New York. Governor of the state of New York. We're at Zuccotti Park, and those who are here for Occupy, also known as Freedom Plaza, on tax day. And as was mentioned, this is a very good day to talk about the way that millionaires and billionaires are not paying their fair share. Everything that we talk about is just asking folks to do what they can, where they are, with what they have. And millionaires and billionaires to pay their fair share. Billionaires have made $88 billion more during this pandemic. That's more. Billionaires have made $88 billion more during this pandemic. And here in New York, while the billionaires are making more money, regular New Yorkers are struggling with eviction, are struggling with foreclosure, are struggling to pay for health care and mental health services, are struggling for daycare, are struggling for prescriptions. They got to make decisions whether they eat, pay for medication, or pay so they can stay in their home. That ain't right. No. And I want to make it clear, this is probably the same all across the country, but here in New York State, millionaires and billionaires have not left New York. The governor told a bunch of millionaires and billionaires, I'm not going to raise your taxes, we want you to stay. First of all, not raising taxes is a Republican line that is generally used to scare people who will never be affected by the revenue raising to begin with. Second of all, as the the director of the budget of New York said billionaires and millionaires have not left New York at all. The people who are leaving New York are the people who cannot afford to stay. They are suffering because we had a budget by this governor that rather give $1 billion to a billionaire Buffalo Bills owner than to pay for housing, to pay for adequate health care that we need for the rest of New Yorkers. So this is not about yelling at people for being successful. This is about asking people to pay their fair share, to make a New York for the many, not for the few. So all we're saying is pay your fair share, pay your taxes, tax the wealthy. Peace and blessings, love and light.
Jumaane Williams, excellent person. I've had him on the show before, not this show, but my last show. Anyway, you can find out more about that by going to Patriotic Billionaires. Patriotic Millionaires? I don't know. I can't remember which one it is. On the internet. Anyway, thank you for blowing up the chat in the YouTube. I really appreciate that.